Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin with a simple truth. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. It can build you up or break you down. It can take you to places beyond your dreams, or keep you stuck in the same place year after year. Now, here's the big question. How do we control it? The answer isn't in some mystical chant or secret formula. It's in discipline, direction, and decision. You don't control your mind by force. You guide it with intention. You train it like you would a garden. What you plant grows. What you neglect withers. Most people spend more time managing their inbox than managing their thoughts. But if you can take control of the conversation in your own head, you can take control of your entire life. And here's the real kicker. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. That means you have the power to choose which ones to believe, which ones to let go, and which ones to build your life around. So let's break it down, simple and clear. Guard the gate. That's the starting point for mastering your mind. You see, the mind is like a garden. Rich soil, ready to grow whatever you plant in it. But here's the problem. Most people let anyone walk through that garden and throw in whatever seeds they want. Ideas, opinions, negativity, doubt, fear, it all goes in, unless you learn to guard the gate. Every single day you're being bombarded, social media, news, conversations, songs, movies, random thoughts from the past, strangers online shouting their version of the truth, friends offering advice they haven't even tested themselves. Now the question is, are you letting all that in without a filter? Because what you allow into your mind over time becomes your reality. Just like water, you wouldn't drink it if it were dirty. You wouldn't take a glass of water from a muddy puddle and call it refreshment. You'd filter it, you'd boil it, you'd check it. Why? Because you care about what goes into your body. So why not apply the same principle to your thoughts? If a negative idea shows up, you don't have to accept it. If someone offers their opinion, especially if it's rooted in fear or bitterness, you're not required to believe it. You don't owe every voice your attention. You owe your mind your protection. That's what guarding the gate means. Be aware of who and what has influence over you, because influence is subtle. It doesn't knock on the front door shouting. It sneaks in through the back. It shows up in the jokes people tell, in the small complaints repeated enough times to become beliefs. It shows up in the people who say, be realistic, when they really mean stop dreaming. Guarding the gate is not about being paranoid, it's about being intentional. It's about deciding that your mental space is valuable, and not everything gets a pass. You've got to say, that thought doesn't serve me, that comment isn't true, that fear isn't mine to carry. Every time you let something in unchecked, you're building a mental environment that grows by default, not by design. And a mind left to grow wild will always favor weeds over fruit. So filter carefully, ask yourself, does this uplift me? Does it align with my vision? Does it help me grow? If not, let it pass. You don't need to fight every thought. Just don't feed it. Don't water the weeds. Guard the gate like your future depends on it, because it does. And remember, this isn't a one-time job. It's a daily decision, a constant choice to protect your peace, to preserve your clarity, to lead your mind instead of being led by whatever walks in. Keep your gate closed to what doesn't belong and open only to what builds. Feed it daily. Your mind is not a machine you turn on once and expect to work forever. It's more like a fire. If you don't keep feeding it, it dies out. If you feed it the wrong things, it burns out of control. The mind runs on input. What you give it today becomes the fuel for your thoughts tomorrow. You can't expect clarity, focus, or inspiration if all you give your mind is noise, nonsense, and negativity. You can't expect powerful results from a weak mental diet. So the rule is simple. Feed it daily. Read something that challenges you. not just what entertains you, but what stretches you. Read the words of people who have built something, done something, overcome something, because success leaves clues, but you have to look for them. Listen to wisdom, not gossip, not drama, not complaint. Listen to something that wakes you up, not something that puts you to sleep. Every word you take in becomes part of your internal conversation. It becomes part of your belief system. It either sharpens your vision or blurs it, and learning, real learning, is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong practice. You don't learn once and then coast forever. You don't take one sip of water and call yourself hydrated. The mind needs a steady flow, every day, a little bit of growth, a little more perspective, a little deeper understanding. It all adds up. Now here's the truth most people ignore. Your mind will consume something, whether you choose it or not. If you're not feeding it with intention, it will feed itself with distraction. It'll grab whatever's nearby, a headline, a complaint, a worry, a meaningless scroll through someone else's life, and all of that becomes part of your mental makeup. Garbage in, garbage out. That's not just a computer principle. It's a life principle. You can't fill your mind with junk and expect it to produce gold. But the opposite is just as true. Wisdom in, results out. You feed it with clarity and you think clearer. You feed it with courage and you act braver. You feed it with purpose and your life starts to reflect that purpose. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Small bits of wisdom each day compound into a sharper mind, a stronger will, a better life. So make it a ritual, not a chore, a ritual. A sacred time where you put something good into your mind, even if it's just 10 minutes. Even if it's one powerful sentence, because the smallest piece of wisdom can shift your entire day. Feed your body and you'll move. Feed your mind and you'll grow. Don't leave it to chance. Don't wait for inspiration to come. Go out and find it, bring it in, feed it daily, because what you feed lives. Speak to yourself, not just listen. That voice in your head. It's always talking. It never takes a day off. It whispers in the morning. It comments during the day. It echoes at night. But here's the catch. Most people never question it. They hear it and they accept it as truth. No filter, no resistance, no pushback. But that voice, that internal dialogue, isn't always accurate. It isn't always kind, and it isn't always working in your best interest. Sometimes that voice is simply repeating old fears, old doubts, old programming from people who didn't know any better themselves. You were not born with fear. You were not born with doubt. You learned it, picked it up somewhere along the way, and now it speaks to you in your own voice. So what do? You don't stay silent. You speak back. With purpose, with power, with intention. Don't just listen to your mind, lead it, direct it. You wouldn't let a friend talk to you the way your inner critic does. You'd stop them. You'd correct them. You'd remind them of the truth. So why not do the same for yourself? When your mind says, I can't do this, you say, yes, I can. I may not know how yet, but I'll learn. When it says, I'm not good enough, you respond, I'm growing every day, and I get better with every step. When it says, what if I fail, you answer, what if I fly? You must be the strongest voice in your own life, because if you don't guide your inner dialogue, it will guide you, and it will often take you places you don't want to go. Fear grows in silence, but faith grows in speech. Every time you speak truth to your mind, you're rewiring it. You're breaking old patterns and creating new ones. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need permission. You don't need anyone else to approve of it. You can start right now, no audience, no spotlight, just you and your voice reclaiming your direction. Say what you want to believe, not just what you've been told. Speak what you want to experience, not just what you're afraid of. This is not about lying to yourself. It's about choosing a better narrative, one that serves you, one that strengthens you. You are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You are the master of them, but mastery starts with a decision to interrupt the old story, to insert a new message, to stop the cycle of passive listening, and begin the practice of active speaking, because the most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. Speak to yourself like someone you believe in. Speak to yourself like someone you care about. And over time, that voice will change. It will align. It will lead you, not by default, but by design. Discipline your thoughts like a muscle. Because that's exactly what they are, mental muscles. And just like any muscle in your body, they don't grow strong on accident. They don't become sharp, steady, and reliable without training. You don't build a strong body by working out once a month. You build it through repetition, consistency, effort. The same goes for your mind. A strong mind is trained daily. It's not about being born with it. It's about building it day by day, choice by choice, thought by thought. You see, your thoughts want to wander. They want to drift to what's easy. They want to latch on to fear, worry, distraction. Because that's what they've been trained to do, unless you retrain them. Unless you take charge. And here's the truth. Discipline is not about being harsh. It's about being intentional. It's saying, this is the direction we're going, and guiding your thoughts to follow that path. Even when they want to go elsewhere, even when they resist, especially when they resist. Repetition is the mother of skill. That means you don't need to get it right the first time. You just need to keep doing it. You correct your thoughts once, then again, then again. You bring your focus back every time it drifts. And each time you do, you get a little stronger. Each time you catch a negative thought and replace it with a better one, your discipline grows. Each time you pause before reacting and choose your response instead, your mental muscle tightens. This is not about perfection. It's about practice. Mental strength isn't loud. It's not about shouting affirmations or pretending to be fearless. It's quiet, calm, grounded. It's the ability to stay steady when the world shakes, to stay focused when everything pulls for your attention, to stay hopeful when doubt tries to take over. But that kind of mind doesn't show up on its own. You build it, one thought at a time, one quiet decision at a time, and yes, it's hard at first. Just like lifting a heavy weight is hard before your body adjusts. But if you keep showing up, if you keep choosing discipline over distraction, you'll find something amazing happens. Your thoughts start to follow your lead. Your mind starts to obey your direction. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll face something that used to shake you. And stay steady, because you've trained for it. You've practiced. You've done the reps. Your mental muscle is strong, not by chance, but by choice. And that strength becomes your foundation. It becomes your advantage. So discipline your thoughts, shape them, direct them, train them daily, because that's how you build a mind that doesn't just survive pressure, but thrives under it. Focus beats force. You don't have to overpower your mind. You don't have to wrestle with it or wear it down through sheer will. You just have to focus it, because when your mind is focused, it becomes quiet. When it's clear on where to go, it stops running in every direction. Most people think they need to fight their thoughts. They try to force their way through fear, through doubt, through noise. But the more you push, the more resistance you create. The secret is not in overpowering your thoughts. It's in aiming them. Like light through a magnifying glass, when you focus your attention, it becomes powerful. Not scattered, not wasted, not diluted, but sharp, precise, intentional. You don't need to solve every problem at once. You don't need to answer every question your mind throws at you. You just need to lock onto asterisk, one clear goal asterisk. Because one clear goal can silence 1,000 doubts, Clarity ends confusion, direction ends distraction. When you know what you're working toward, the noise fades, the little worries, they shrink, the side conversations in your head. They lose volume because the mind can only serve one master at a time. If it's not your focus, it will serve your fear. If it's not your goal, it will chase comfort. But when you give your mind a mission, a clear, strong, meaningful mission, it gets to work. It stops questioning everything and starts solving. It stops doubting and starts building. That's the power of focus. You see, effort is important, but effort without direction is exhausting. It's like running on a treadmill, lots of motion, no progress. But when you channel that energy into a single point, it moves mountains. Even the biggest obstacle becomes manageable when you know why you're facing it. Even the toughest day gets easier when you remember what you're aiming for. It's not that the problems disappear, it's that your focus becomes stronger than the fear. Your reason becomes bigger than your resistance. So if your mind feels noisy, scattered, overwhelmed, it's not weak. It's just unfocused. That's all. Bring it back to center. Ask yourself, what matters most right now? What's one thing that deserves my full attention? Choose it, commit to it, and let the rest fall away. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do the right thing and do it with everything you've got. Because focus is a filter. It filters out what doesn't matter. It clears the fog. It brings peace not by changing the world outside, but by organizing the world inside. And when your mind is focused, even chaos becomes manageable. Even pressure becomes fuel. You don't have to control every thought. You just have to give your mind something better to follow. One clear goal. One strong direction. That's how focus beats force. Every time, control begins with awareness. You can't change what you don't recognize. You can't fix what you won't look at. And that's where most people get stuck. Not because they're weak, but because they're unaware. They're driven by thoughts they never question. They're ruled by patterns they don't even notice. They react, they stress, they worry. And they don't know why. They just think, that's how I am. But that's not how you are. That's just how you've been running. The first step to taking control of your mind is to become aware of what it's doing. Not to judge it, not to fear it, but simply to watch it. Like a coach watches tape after a game. Not with emotion, with analysis, with curiosity. You see, great athletes improve not just by doing, but by reviewing, by studying what worked and what didn't, by noticing tendencies, by becoming conscious of habits. You have to do the same thing with your mind. Start paying attention to what you're thinking when you feel off balance, when you're anxious, when you're angry, when you're procrastinating. Don't just push through it, pause, and observe. Ask yourself, what was I just telling myself? What belief just flashed through my mind? Was it even true? Because you can't change a thought you're not aware of. You can't replace a belief that's hiding in the background. But once you bring it to the light, you can deal with it. And here's the powerful truth. Awareness alone is transformative. The moment you see a pattern, you've already begun to break it. Because now it's not running you. Now you're watching it. Now you're in the driver's seat. This is not about perfection. It's not about having only positive thoughts. It's about knowing what your thoughts are doing to you. Are they building you? Or draining you? Are they pulling you forward or holding you back? It's not good or bad. It's just information, like data, and the more you collect, the more you understand. You start to see your default responses. You start to hear the quiet voice of fear when it shows up pretending to be logic. You notice the subtle way you talk yourself out of things before you even begin. And once you notice it, you can challenge it. You can shift it, but not before. Awareness is the key that unlocks the door to change. Not willpower, not motivation. Just awareness, quiet, honest, consistent. So learn to be still and observe, not with judgment. With attention, become the witness to your thoughts, not the victim of them. Train yourself to see before you react . That's where control begins. That's where the shift starts. Because once you become aware, you gain choice. And choice is where your power lives. Choose your environment wisely, because whether you notice it or not, your environment is always working on you. It's shaping your mindset. It's influencing your beliefs. It's reinforcing what's possible or what's not. And here's the truth most people underestimate. Your environment can pull you up or it can hold you down. It can sharpen your edge or dull your drive. It can feed your vision or drain your energy. And often it does it silently, subtly, without any announcement. You spend time around people who make excuses. You'll start to believe excuses are normal. You surround yourself with doubt, hesitation, and fear. You'll start calling that realistic. But when you step into a space where growth is expected, where dreams aren't laughed at, but lifted, where people speak possibility, not limitation, something shifts. You rise to meet the energy. You adapt to the standard, because environment sets the tone. It sets the bar, and whether that bar is high or low, you'll start to match it. It's human nature. We want to belong. We adjust to fit in. So make sure you're fitting into something that lifts you higher. Ask yourself, do the people around me challenge me? Do they hold me to a higher standard? Do they speak life, or do they drain it? This doesn't mean you cut everyone off, but it does mean you choose where you spend the bulk of your time. It means you build an environment, physically and mentally, that supports your growth. Fill your space with inspiration. Fill your mind with mentors, even if you've never met them. Books, podcasts, conversations, anything that elevates your thinking. Make your space a place where growth isn't a rare event, it's the norm. Where getting better is expected, where becoming more is celebrated, not criticized, because growth thrives in the right atmosphere. Just like a plant needs sunlight, water, and good soil, your mind needs the right setting. If the room is full of bitterness, blame, and comfort, you'll shrink. But if the room is filled with ownership, vision, and energy, you'll expand, you'll evolve, you'll level up. And here's the beautiful part, it's a choice. You get to choose your environment. Even when you can't change every external thing, you can still create a pocket of growth. A space where you learn, where you think, where you plan, where you get clear. You don't need a mansion. You don't need $1 million network. You just need intention. One shelf of good books. One friend who believes in you. One daily routine that builds you. That's a good environment. That's where transformation begins, not in chaos, not in noise, but in a space that calls out your best. So be intentional. Surround yourself with voices that speak to your future, not your fears. Go where growth is the standard, not the exception. Cut off negativity at the root, because if you let it grow, it spreads fast. It starts small, just a single thought, a quiet whisper in your mind that says you're not ready, or what if this doesn't work? And in that moment, you have a choice. You can water it, feed it, give it attention, or you can cut it off right there. No negotiation, no debate, no emotional tug-of-war, just a calm, simple response, not helpful. And move on. You see, not every thought deserves your energy. Not every doubt is worth exploring. Not every worry needs unpacking. Some thoughts are just mental noise, old programming, unconscious fears, leftover patterns from people who didn't believe in themselves. And pass that mindset to you? You don't need to argue with those thoughts. You don't need to prove them wrong. You just need to recognize them and refuse to feed them, because what you feed grows, and what you ignore dies off. It's like a weed in the garden of your mind. If you notice it early, it's easy to pull. But if you let it stay, let it root, let it spread, it starts to take over. Suddenly, your confidence gets smaller. Your vision gets foggy, and your energy gets drained. All because you entertained a thought that should have been dismissed. So make this your habit. When negativity shows up, don't react asterisk, respond asterisk. Respond with clarity, respond with power. Say not helpful. Say not true. Say that's not where I'm going, and then shift. Shift your attention, shift your posture, shift your focus to something that asterisk is asterisk helpful, something that builds, something that aligns with who you're becoming. This isn't about pretending everything's perfect. It's about refusing to be controlled by thoughts that offer you nothing. Because negativity can't live where it's not welcomed. It only survives where it's invited in, offered a seat, and given the floor. You don't have to make space for it. You can acknowledge it without engaging it. You can say, I see you, but I'm not staying with you. And then get back to your purpose, your path, your progress. Every time you cut off a negative thought before it grows, you protect your peace. You protect your energy, you guard the quality of your thinking, and over time it gets easier. You build mental boundaries, you strengthen your filter, and your mind learns to stop grabbing the same old fears. Because you've taught it. Those thoughts don't lead anywhere worth going. So be firm, be calm, be clear. When a negative thought knocks, don't open the door, just say, not helpful, and move forward. Use affirmations, not illusions. Speak to yourself in truth, not fantasy. Affirmations aren't about pretending everything is perfect. They're about reminding yourself of who you are, what you're capable of, and where you're going. They are not lies. They are not wishful thinking. They are anchors. Anchors that hold you steady when the winds of doubt and fear try to pull you away. You don't need to say, I have no fear. If you do, you say, I have fear, and I move anyway. That's truth, that's power. Affirmations aren't about ignoring your challenges. They're about declaring that you are bigger than them. They remind your mind what's real when emotions get loud. You don't say, everything is perfect. You say, I am capable of handling what isn't. You don't say, nothing can stop me. You say, I know setbacks may come, but I will rise through them. You speak like someone who's been through something. Someone who's seen what life can throw and still chooses to believe, to build, to become. Your mind listens to your voice more than any other, so make sure it hears something strong, not fluffy, not empty. Solid, rooted, grounded in reality and lifted by vision. Say things that make you feel asterisk, aligned asterisk, not just excited. Excitement fades, alignment stays. Say, I'm learning. Say, I'm growing. Say, I've made it through worse, and I'm not done yet. Because you're not. You're still in the game, you're still showing up, and that means there's more in you. Affirmations are tools, not magic spells. They work when you work them. They shift your posture. They bring your attention back to what matters. They remind you that while you can't control everything, you can control how you speak to yourself. And that matters more than you think, because the voice you hear the most is your own. So choose your words carefully. Don't tell yourself you're broken. Tell yourself you're becoming. Don't tell yourself you're behind. Tell yourself you're building, you're progressing, you're showing up for the process. That's what matters. Affirm with strength, not fantasy. Speak as someone who knows the road is hard, but walks it anyway, and when doubt creeps in, and it will, don't lie to yourself, just answer it. Say, yes, this is tough, but so am I. Say, yes, I've fallen before, but I've gotten back up every time, and keep going. That's how you use affirmations, not as illusions, but as reminders. Reminders that the strength you need is already in you, waiting to be spoken. Make your mind a servant, not a master. It sounds bold, almost rebellious, because most people live the opposite way. They wake up and let their thoughts dictate everything. Mood, energy, direction. The mind fires off memories, anxieties, half-formed worries, and they follow without question. But that's backward. Your mind is a tool, not a throne. It's a brilliant assistant, fast, creative, tireless. Yet it needs clear instructions. Give it none, and it invents problems to solve. Leave it unmonitored, and it loops on the loudest fear in the room. So the first step is ownership. Decide right now that you are the CEO and your mind is a highly skilled employee. You set the agenda, it executes. You choose the destination, it maps the route. Without that decision, you remain a passenger on random neural pathways, reacting instead of creating. Start the day by assigning your mind a mission. Maybe it's find evidence of progress, or create solutions, or notice opportunities. State it clearly, as if writing a job description. The brain loves a specific task. Ambiguity only invites drift. When you say focus on gratitude, your mind scans for reasons to be thankful. When you demand spot one new connection for my project, it starts pattern, matching in background mode. That's not magic. It's the reticular activating system doing its job, filtering reality to match the directive you provided. But a servant needs boundaries as well as goals. Set office hours for rumination. If a worry pops up outside that window, postpone the meeting. We'll handle this at 6 p.m. 9 times out of 10, the concern evaporates before the appointment arrives. Interrupt spirals with simple commands. Back to work. Or this is off topic. Those short phrases act like a supervisor tapping the clipboard, reminding the employee to stick to the brief. Measure performance too. At night, review how well your mind served the mission. Did it deliver fresh ideas? Did it chase distractions? No judgment, just data for tomorrow's improvements. When you notice a pattern of unhelpful loops, redesign the workflow. Provide clearer goals, shorter time blocks, more restorative breaks. And remember to reward good work. Celebrate when your mind produces insight, creativity, or calm under pressure. Positive reinforcement trains the neural circuits to repeat that behavior. A quick good job, that was sharp thinking, releases a burst of dopamine, marking the pathway for future use. Over time, the relationship shifts. The mind stops vying for the driver's seat because it trusts your leadership. It learns that when it offers fears masquerading as facts, you'll evaluate them, not obey them. It learns that when it produces ideas, you'll listen and act. That respect is mutual and powerful. So keep giving your mind clear jobs. Keep redirecting when it wanders. Keep evaluating results and refining instructions. Do this consistently, and the once unruly master becomes a loyal servant, efficient, creative, and fully aligned with your highest aims. So remember, your mind is powerful, but it's not in charge unless you let it be. It will serve whatever story you give it. It will build whatever blueprint you hand it. Train it, guide it, lead it with clarity, not confusion. Don't wait for your mind to calm down before you move forward. Calm it by moving with purpose. Be the architect, not the audience, and when you fall off track, and you will, come back with compassion, not condemnation. This is not about perfection. It's about direction. Every moment, every thought, every small decision is a chance to remind your mind who it works for. Not fear, not doubt, not the past, but you asterisk. The one with vision, discipline, and intention. Take that responsibility seriously, and the results will take care of themselves. Because when your mind follows your mission, there's nothing you can't build.